Ahava blessings. Welcome to this episode of Embodying the Shekhinah Happy New Moon Solar Eclipse in Libra. This podcast is here to support us in embodying, activating, integrating the infinite light of our soul and aligning us with the divine. And what a perfect energy to work with during this Libra new moon. So this new moon is happening on October 2nd, so you're receiving this in the lead up for the new moon solar eclipse. And there's a reason for this, because these energies are very, very powerful. Solar eclipses are powerful portals where things just change so quickly. People, places, things get eclipsed in, out. It's just momentum building and rapid change. So we need to prepare for these energies. So hence the timing of this being released in anticipation for this new moon. So the new moon solar eclipse is happening on October 2nd, and it is happening at 11:49 on the west coast of the US, 2:49 on the east coast, and in London, UK, it is happening at 8:49 in the evening, 1 hour, so 9:49 would be CET time for our friends in Europe. And this new moon is happening at 10 degrees, and 10 degrees, 10 is the number of uniting heaven and earth. It is the portal to the Garden of Eden. And the Garden of Eden is our, how shall I put it? The Garden of Eden is the place where we all originated, where our soul, where Adama, humanity, was basically given creation to allow us to unfold creation forward. And it is a beautiful energy of returning to our Edenic template, which is what this ascension process is. This ascension process is really a remembering our soul essence, our infinite self, and coming back to that essence, returning to our oneness. And the Garden of Eden is that place where we were pristine, where we were in this cosmic union with the earth, with the divine at all points in time. So we are entering a portal into this place of infinite expansion, infinite creation. It is an energy that is aligned with commitment, because prosperity comes from us being in our service, in our commitment, in our Ahava, love and service, love and action. And it is the number that is associated with the Kala. Kala in Aramaic is the sacred bride, and humanity is the sacred bride, and the bridegroom is the divine. So it's that merging, it's that divine union between us, the divine, us and our soul, us embodying the infinite light of creation and bringing it down and anchoring it here on earth. And in doing that, we transform the frequency and the timeline and the energy of our existence. And of course, it's creative expression and power and balance, and it contains the frequency of all the numbers that came before it. So this is such a powerful time to be aligning with the energies of this portal. And there's a lot that goes into, astrology, and a lot you will hear that eclipses are malefic. And while I do not recommend that you basically are outside too much during an eclipse, because the energies are so heightened, I don't think that there's such a, how shall we say, such a cause to fear. Because what we are doing is we are coming back into union And fear, guilt, shame, all of these anger, lower frequencies, what they do is they create separation. And separation is the opposite of the energy of Libra, of Tishrei. This is the new lunar cycle we're going into. So this new lunar cycle is just really bringing us the energies of creation, the energies of newness, of course, but the energies of being conscious and aware of the words that you are utilizing and the frequency you are aligning to. Because Pe created Venus. Venus rules the Aramaic letter Pe, Aramaic Hebrew. Pe created Venus, and Venus rules Libra. Lamed is the Aramaic Hebrew letter that created Libra. So we're working with the frequencies of the Pe and the Lamed. And the Pe means mouth, but it really calls us to be mindful of the words, because words create our experience. The Divine Mother, Father, God, Goddess spoke creation into existence with vibration, with sound. So it really is about divine manifestation, about being the vessel for the expression of creation. So being mindful, conscious with the words we use, the thoughtful expression of our innermost truth, our innermost desires being thoughtfully expressed. It has to do with communication, creativity, creation, strength. I mentioned the power of the word, and really the Bay reminds us of the influence that we wield with our words. Our words can create, can inspire, can uplift. Our words can also destroy and create separation and disunity. So it's very, very important to be mindful of the word. And as we are building into this portal of energy for this new moon, this has been coming up a lot in my experience. The awareness of how important our words are, and we may use the best words, but also being aware that the other person will be coloring your words with whatever projections of their unhealed heart. So it's very important when we communicate, particularly during times of heightened energies, I should say, and energetic upgrades, because it is an upgrade. So we will take energetic upgrade and energies and utilize both of those in this description. So when we are experiencing this, it's very important to be mindful and kind and compassionate, because Libra is a loving sign. It's about partnership. So in our communication, understanding that not only are our words and our experience colored by what we have lived, but the words we speak are being received and interpreted by the experience of the person in front of us. So in order to diffuse tension, align with the heart. In order to truly communicate and reach a consensus, reach a respectful agreement, reach unity, we must communicate from a heart-centered space and say the things. If what you're saying is being received distorted, stress that this is you coloring my words with your perspective. That is not what I said. What I said is this. This is where my heart is. So sometimes we may need to explain ourselves a little bit more. And my Virgo moon doesn't like to repeat myself more than once. However, when we are in relationship, when we are in partnership, when we truly want to create a heart-centered, loving environment, it's important for us to be mindful and sometimes have to say our words again in a different way so that they can truly be received the way that they are intended. Because we are way past the time where we can be careless with our communication and thoughtless with our actions. Every action, every word is cementing a frequency in our aura, in our energetic field that will cement manifestations into the physical realm. So what is it that you are truly wishing to align with? This is very, very important, particularly during times of solar eclipses and during new and full moons. So communication and the Lamed, I love Lamed. So Lamed calls us to be the teacher, to be the student, to grow and learn from every person, from every experience, to challenge our triggers with kindness, to truly allow ourselves to receive our triggers as the biggest blessings, because they are pointing us to where we need healing, where we need attention. And so Lamed, Libra, all about balance. And because it is the tallest letter and it goes above and below the line, it's a unification of heaven and earth, but it's a transmission. So we are receiving a transmission from the heavens and anchoring it here. And in order for us to truly receive the transmission, and my third eye is tingling, we must be in the heart. Because ego has no place in either the transmission or the reception of wisdom. So if we truly desire to expand in love, in wisdom, in Ahava, in our service, in our mission, we really must put the ego in check and allow the soul to lead us. Lamed requires focus, harmony, and grounding. It relates to the feelings of the heart that have to do with love, with compassion, with passion and understanding. So we are receiving the light, rooting it, anchoring it, grounding it, and expanding it into our experience. This is the frequency. These are the frequencies of this new moon. So I just wanted to mention the letters, because the letters really, they're being activated even in the lead up to this new moon. Because the sun is already, I believe the sun as of the 27th will be in Libra. So these energies are already being activated as we're going into the new lunar cycle with the new moon on the 2nd. So very, very interesting things are happening in the skies. So we have the eclipse, we have the sun and the moon at 10 degrees of Libra, but it's also conjunct Mercury at 11 degrees of Libra. So this means that this is a good time for us to work on our communication, on our expression, on our travel. If you love to travel, this would be a great time, because anything that has to do with communication, with travel, with community is well aspected. And the sun and the moon, so basically your emotional body, your emotions, the heart is aligned with the body, the external expression. So the internal expression is in alignment with the external expression, that's the sun and the moon. And now with your communication, that's coming into the mix. So we have the ability to express our innermost heart's desires and our soul's desires clearly and efficiently, and use our voice to cement and create our reality. Because remember, Libra, the Bay and the Lamed. We do have a little bit of a square happening with Mars. So between the sun, the moon, and Mercury, there's a square being formed with Mars in Cancer. So there's a bit of a push and pull, and contentious energy of wanting to move forward. And in wanting to move forward, in aligning with everything that has to do with our action, with our passion, with our drive, with our initiation. Mars is a leader. Mars likes to initiate. And all of that having to do with the home. With the home, with the lineage, with the family, with your home base. So all of that new energy is being challenged. It's not an opposition, so it's being challenged by the roots, by the home. So we must find a way to align our traditions, the way that we have always honored things, but do it in a way that is refreshing, that is an alternative to the way that we have been doing it. So I see this as an aligning that it can be contentious, and it can be challenging because squares are challenging. But when you can harmonize your need for that root stability, that home life, that harmony, that family, that lineage, when you can harmonize the best of the lineage, the best of your home life and your upbringing and your family, and harmonize that with how you're moving forward, that's when we win. That's when we truly are able to expand and express our light more fully. And okay, so the sun and the moon are also in conjunction with the south node, and the south node has to do with our karma, with our past lives. So there will be patterns coming up from past lives, from family, from lineage, from the lifetimes we have lived that want to be healed now. And that's why Cancer really hit me as home when I mentioned that square. Now it makes sense. So just be aware of your dreams, be aware of your emotional triggers, be aware if you are a little more introspective, if you're a little more outgoing and feisty, be aware that other factors could be playing into that. So just be really open to receiving the messages so we can move forward and heal. And as that Sun, Moon, Mercury is in conjunction with the South Node, with the karmic patterns, with the lineage, with the past lives, it's also opposing the North Node. And the North Node is our mission. So we are being asked to heal what needs to be healed, address the longing for resolution of the karmic ties and the binds, and liberate them from past lives in order to move forward and align with the highest expression of our mission, our soul, our North Node. So we have a trine between Mercury and Jupiter, so expansion, communication, really working in a way that is harmonious. So these two energies of communication and of expansion and of good luck and good fortune and networking and community are being well aspected, as well as we have a water trine we have Venus in Scorpio, Mars in Cancer, Saturn retrograde in Pisces, and they're forming a grand water trine. So there's a lot of watery energy to this new moon. Libra is an air sign. If you know a Libra, you know chatty, wonderful, very diplomatic, very social. They're butterflies, they're flirty, they have so much energy because of all of the air. Libra is an air element. But this moon is going to have a lot of water. So it's going to have a lot of healing, a lot of nurturing, amplifying the love frequency of Venus and of Libra, and amplifying it's really healing, it's transformation, it's flow, it's abundance, it's all that expansion in all of those realms. Family. If there are situations that need to be healed within the family, this would be a wonderful time to heal those relationships, to really come into acceptance of one another as family, as different expressions of God, Goddess, Allahat, the divine. Because all of us are creation. All of us are these sparks of the divine. All of us are mirrors of one another. We're just expressing in different ways. So when we can see the light in each other, honor that light, cherish and nurture and cultivate that light, then we expand it. So Uranus is in a sextile with Neptune and then a trine with Pluto. So deep transformation energies, but that's been happening. We are in a deeply, profoundly transformative time where we are being tasked with really looking at ourselves, looking at those parts of ourselves that we want to hold on to that are not healed. But we've identified for so long with them that we kind of don't know what to do with ourselves other than accept this as our reality and hold on to it through thick and thin, and then even if it's hurting us. And that's not what this Libra new moon is asking us to do. Libra is the scales, and there's a reason why it's the scales. So in Egyptian mythology, when we cross over to the other side, our heart is weighed on the scales against the feather of Ma'at. Ma'at is the goddess of balance, the goddess of justice, the goddess of truth. The 42 laws of Ma'at are basically codes to live by. But so our hearts are being weighed against a feather. And the story goes that if you performed good deeds and you forgave and you were a good person, your heart would be lighter or as light as the feather, and you would be granted access to the afterlife. I can't remember what the place of the afterlife in the Egyptian pantheon is, but you would basically ascend. But if you weren't, if your heart was heavier than the feather, then your heart and your soul essentially would be eaten by this monster that was basically waiting under the scales to devour you. So the goal in this theology was to live a good life. Live such a good life that your heart would be as light as a feather. So how can we lighten our heart? How can we liberate the anger, the frustration, the fear, the resentment? And this can be, because we're human, we can feel these emotions at any point in time. And our anger and our frustration and our righteous rage may be justified, absolutely. A person wronged us, a person wronged our beloved, a person wronged our family member, someone we love and care about. We have every right to be upset. However, in the holding on of that anger and of that frustration and of that resentment, all we do is feed separation. We feed the ego, because the ego is the part of us that wants to be right. The ego wants to be right, but the soul seeks union. So where do we need to heal our heart and liberate ourselves of the guilt, of the shame, of the resentment, of the anger, of the frustration, of all of those dense energies, so we can send love, so we can send healing? and also to ourselves. Because oftentimes, what we see as a problem with someone else has been mirrored within you. You've been that person at some point in time. You have been that person. You've wronged someone. You've hurt someone. You've taken advantage of someone. You've used someone. We all have. So how can we extend forgiveness to ourselves, just as we send forgiveness and love to those that have hurt us? Because only hurt people hurt people. That is the truth. Depending on your level of consciousness, you will act in ways that are completely uncharacteristic of who you truly are, of the light of your soul. So are we feeding the heaviness in the heart? Are we feeding destruction? Or are we lightening our load? Are we lightening our heart so our heart is brimming with joy, with love, with peace, with unity? And where we can send love to even those people that have hurt us. And this doesn't mean that we allow them to do it again. No. But we can acknowledge that that was an experience, that was a lesson, there was something that your soul chose to learn from that. And in that learning, your soul is expanded, and the divine light is able to radiate more through you by you allowing yourself to receive the wisdom of that lesson with humility, with grace. And this is how we create and we cement what everyone talks about as the fifth dimensional experience. It's not somewhere far off. It's not you ascending and forgetting about the body and this humanity and this earth. It's you anchoring those frequencies here and now. And it all begins within. It all begins with our hearts, the Libra. And Libra is all about the heart. It's all about partnership. It's all about creating that harmony, that balance, that alignment. Libra is such a beautiful energy. I have my grandmother was a Libra, and I have good friends that are Libra as well. Actually, very good friends that are Libras. So even though there is a tendency, if you have a prominent Libra, or I think Libra rules the 10th house. No, was it the 9th? No, 11th. The house of partnerships. If you look it up, you'll find the house of partnership. Right now, it's like so much information, and I'm trying to ground that energy. So Libra rules partnership. Libra is the I am. It's the 7th house. That's what it is. Knew it would come. So Libra is all about the we, and the opposite is Aries. Aries is all about the me. So how do we harmonize? How do we align between the needs of the me and the collective, the we? How do we unify? Because it's all about bringing duality into union, into unity, keeping what is valuable, letting go of what is not. And this is how we create harmony. So we let go of the ego, we surrender it, we allow our soul to lead us, we align with the light, we mind our words and our expression, and we express from a heart-centered, loving space, and send love to those parts of you that were hurt, and in that hurt others. Send love to those people that hurt you, because when you can acknowledge that you've been that person, because you have, then you can also often hardest on ourselves, even more tough on ourselves than we are on other people. So it's very, very important to be kind, be gentle, be loving, be nurturing. Have compassion for yourself. Have compassion for your fellow man and woman and being and the earth and the animals. And this is how we express and share our light. And that's the other aspect of this Libra Tishrei lunar cycle. It's about the law of light. It is about our commitment to share, to embody, to align, to share the light of creation, to expand creation, to align ourselves with the divine, to unify mind, body, soul, spirit, the divine, the earth, the celestial realms, all of it. So it's a beautiful energy. I hope that you enjoy it, and don't be afraid to look deeply into those parts of you. Make sure you ground, because we do need to ground the energy. Drink plenty of water and take a salt bath. Salt baths are great, especially as we're leading up to the new moon. And allow yourself to receive the messages, because they're there. Spirit, the divine, is always speaking to us. Are we listening? I thank you so much for joining me for this episode. Don't forget to catch the sound activation, which is the companion episode for this new moon in Libra solar eclipse. And if you happen to be in Dublin and you would like to join me, well, maybe there's still one space by the time you see this or hear this, check out the link that is below in the show notes. If you enjoyed this, of course, like, subscribe, share, and you can follow me on social media, embodying the Shekhinah, or at Aurea Lara, Aurealara, and on YouTube, Aurea Lara as well, Aurealara. Have a blessed new moon, a wonderful lunar cycle of Libra, and I will see you in the next episode. Blessings. Ahava.